Business Insider reports that this morning, Steve Bannon called the people who stormed the Capitol Brazilian freedom fighters. Working as a consultant to Bolsonaro, Bannon has been claiming voter fraud in Brazil since before Bolsonaro even lost the election. Former President Donald Trump endorsed Bolsonaro and, not surprisingly, has remained silent since Sunday's riot. The Washington Post reported back in November that Bolsonaro's son, Eduardo Bolsonaro, who serves in the Brazilian Congress, he flew to Mar-a-Lago after his father was defeated in October to meet with Donald Trump for advice on what to do next. On that trip, he reportedly also talked with Steve Bannon by phone. Bannon couldn't be there in person because at the time of the visit, Bannon was in Arizona assisting election denier Kari Lake with her false claims that she lost her race for Arizona governor due to voter fraud. 2 weeks ago, the Arizona Supreme Court rejected Kari Lake's claims of voter fraud, but that doesn't stop Kari Lake from jetting back and forth to Mar-a-Lago while claiming she is now, quote, the duly elected governor of Arizona. These people are incredible. Bolsonaro's son on that trip also met with former Trump spokesman Jason Miller. Jason Miller left the Trump White House to join Newsmax. He runs Getter. It's a social media platform. And he briefly worked over at CNN right after leaving the Trump White House. Jason is a good family guy. He's married, has 2 small children. Well, technically, he has 3 small children. And the third child he had was born only months after his second child was born. No, his wife isn't one of those swamp wallabies that can get pregnant while they're already pregnant. At least I don't think Jason Miller's wife is a swamp wallaby. Somebody should probably look into it. But I'm pretty sure Jason Miller's wife isn't a swamp wallaby. From what I've read, the reason Jason Miller had his third child only months after his second child was born is because he is a rat. Yes, he's a rat. You see, Jason Miller, while promoting conservative Christian values and trying to secure the presidency for Donald Trump, you all remember Donald Trump, the darling of America's evangelical community, which thinks sex is dirty. Well, while trying to get family man Donald Trump elected president, Jason Miller had an extramarital, adulterous sexual intercourse, penis and vagina affair with another Trump staffer by the name of A.J. Delgado. A.J. Delgado. The good news is, like all good Christian conservatives, the two of them didn't use contraception. The bad news is they're not just against contraception, they're also opposed to abortion. So A.J. Delgado kept the baby. But like all good Christian conservatives, Jason Miller owned up to his mistake, said the baby was his, and worked it out with his wife so that he would pay child support and share custody and participate in his illegitimate child's life. Just kidding. Jason Miller, conservative, family values, all about family values. He did the Republican thing and refused to pay child support. Anyway, don't take my word. Here is CNN's Jake Tapper's tweet on January 3rd, 2021, which is addressed directly to Jason Miller. While I have your attention, pay your child support. Seems to me, Jason Miller, if you're an anti-abortion Republican who has a child out of wedlock and then must be taken to court kicking and screaming to pay child support, your career as a Republican should be aborted. But what do I know? There's simply no accountability with these people. People? Yeah, I'll be generous. People. They just move on. Jason Miller was advising the Bolsonaro family, so you can clearly see that the Bolsonaro family was seeking advice from America's best and brightest, and by best and brightest, I mean worst and dimmest. As I said, the son, Congressman Eduardo Bolsonaro, worked closely with the Trump administration and was in Washington, D.C. on January 6, 2021, when Trump supporters seized our nation's capital. Presumably, Eduardo was there to take notes. The Post, the Washington Post, reported back in November that after Lula won, Steve Bannon advised a distraught Bolsonaro family to contest the election results, which Bolsonaro immediately did, insisting 250,000 voting machines didn't work properly. But unlike in America, Brazil doesn't put up with election denying. Last year, Brazil's Supreme Court ordered several Bolsonaro supporters, including Brazilian Congresswoman Carla Zambelli, who herself had 10 million Twitter followers. She and several other Bolsonaro supporters were ordered by their Supreme Court to get off social media permanently after they refused to stop spreading lies about voter fraud. Interesting. She also reportedly chased after a Lula supporter during the election while brandishing a gun. Good people. Did I mention that when Bolsonaro won 4 years ago, he was a big supporter of gun rights, and the National Rifle Association made a lot of money helping him? The Post reports that Congresswoman Zambelli has flown to Washington, D.C. several times to meet with Trump advisors about election fraud, or at least how to spread the lies